ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ثم أما بعد. الإنسان عادة يتعلم عن طريق السمع وعن طريق النظر وعن طريق القراءة وعن طريق التجربة. When we talk about learning, different ways, they all lead you to having some knowledge based on what you hear, what you see, what you read, and what you experience in real life. And this is the biggest one. Experience has so much to do in this life when it comes to learning. Anyone who is older than you one day, he has an experience more than you one day. If we can comprehend that, we understand how to deal with the commands of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when it comes to mashura, when it comes to asking for advice, when it comes for doing istikhara. All of those are reasons why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to always consult with one another, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ma khaba man istakhara wa ma nadima man istashar." A person who does istikhara will never be let down, and a person who asks will never lose anything. I come and tell him, okay, I'm going to do such and such, what do you think? You never know. You might ask a person that he has the most important, valuable piece of information, and you think you know it all. So based on this, we read things based on old people. You know, they say this is a saying of such and such, a wise man or an old man. I'm going to read for you some of those and reflect on them. You know, I like those things when you can apply it Islamically, even though it might be true in real life, but we cannot function in real life unless we relate it Islamically. One of those things, it says, حكمة لرجل عجوز يقول سألوني ماذا تعلمت من السنين التي مضت. A wise old man was asked, what have you learned from the years that you have lived? He said, تعلمت أن أعمل الخير ولا أنتظر أي مقابل لكي لا أصدم بالجحود. I learned to always do good and not wait for an exchange, so I will not be shocked with how people will deny the good. How do you deny the good? You're not going to say, I don't want it. You just don't appreciate it. You don't show people appreciation. And this is an issue that many people always talk. You know, I've done such and such and such so many times. They don't even say thank you. Yes, you can be doing for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not waiting for thank you, but it's there. It's there. And if I do good to him and he is not appreciative, based on the ayah that says, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ, if you say thank you, I'll give you more. And if you don't, what happens? إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ, my punishment is severe. So you can apply that. I give heaven for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your job is to say thank you. Your job is to show appreciation, because nature of the human being likes to hear that, even if he doesn't want it, but it sounds good to hear it. So, إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ, I'll go give him, because he's also in need, just like you're in need. I'll give someone who is appreciative, because if you are appreciative to me, that means you're appreciative to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who sent me to you. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's the meaning of مَن لَا يَشْكُرِ النَّاسِ لَا يَشْكُرِ اللَّهِ. If you don't say thank you to people, it's like you're saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, well, thank you. So learn how to always appreciate what people do to you regardless how small it is. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you more and the human being gives you more. And I just want to give you a practical example. Picture yourself, you see a person asking for help and you give him some help. And he shows you how much you really helped him and what it means to him. And it's like, you saved me, you saved my life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does this and this and they start making dua for you. Versus another person comes and you give him and say, thank you, or jazakallahu khairan, and turns his back and walks away. Look at your feeling with that person. If he comes again, I guarantee you will give him more. And you will not question. With the other person, you think about it. As I said, there are so many people in need. That doesn't mean you stop doing good, but you will go to someone else who is appreciative to give him the good. That's number one. He said, I learned. Well, one more thing I want to elaborate on this. If you want to know a person who does things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and good from the inside, he would look at the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, always fulfill without looking at the other side. How can you tell the person is adherent or not? I come and tell you, for instance, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that you have to be gentle and kind with your wife. What's your response? Your response will tell me who you are. Yeah, but they were supposed to be obedient to us too. I know who you are. My statement is clear. Kind to your wife. Anything wrong with it? Wrong, different, not authentic, what? You say, you're right. Subhanallah, Sadaqa Rasulullah. It's very rewarding. It may be difficult because nowadays, they're not that obedient or they're supposed to be on the other side. Yeah, I can understand that. But immediately when you jump on the other side, it's like you're negating what I just said, or you don't like what I just said, or you don't do it unless you get your part. The relationship in the family, it's not based on you do and I do. It's we do for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you are patient on one another. And you see what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how many of you men, I'm going to address men in particular, were bothered once in your life to hear your wife or anyone talk about ummak thumma ummak thumma ummak thumma abik? I never heard a single man complaining why the mother 3 times and the father 1 time, and in reality he is the one who's taking care of the mother. Who takes care of the mothers? The father. And the one who takes care of the other is better than the one who's being taken care of. So why we don't complain about that? Why we don't say, yeah, but we are the one who takes care of them, so we are better? No, alhamdulillah. In fact, we teach it to our children. When we see our child, my child or your child, doing something to his mother, you recite the hadith. You say, no. Ummak thumma ummak thumma ummak. And you say it proudly and happily. It's not like, oh, she is preferred over me 3 times, fair and not fair and all of that. When it comes to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the believer accepts it with an open heart. That is something that we need to pay attention to. Also, he said, تعلمت أن ما عملته تراه كالمرآة في أهلك. Anything you do, you see it like a mirror in your family. يعني كما تدين تدان. Islamically, the way you deal with people, you'll be dealt with. If you cover the mistakes of your brother, you're going to find someone cover the mistakes of you and your family. If you don't look down at other people, people are not going to look down at you. If you care for the modesty of other people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will care about you. If you don't slander people, people are not going to slander you. Generally, the rule is perfect 100%. Unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to try you and test you, that's an exception. But the rule is, the way you deal with people, expect someone to deal with you or your family or your wife or your children. That's why you always want to do good for people and think good of people. تعلمت أن المظلوم لا بد له من الانتصار ولو بعد حين. I learned that the oppressed person eventually is going to be victorious. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who promised him the victory. So the victory is not going to come from the mazloom himself. It's going to come because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is aiding him. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with you, no one can stand against you. تعلمت أن سهام الليل لا تخطئ. سهام الليل, يعني I learned that the arrows of the night will always hit the target. What does that mean? Dua. So dua al-layl, qiyam al-layl, when you pray at night, this is the highest level of extra worship. The most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of extra worship in salah is the salat al-layl. Why? Because everybody's asleep. Everybody in his world. Everybody enjoying himself. And you are losing the sleep for the one you love, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anyway, He's there waiting for you. Every night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks and calls. You have any need, I can fulfill. You have any problems, you need forgiveness, I'll forgive you. You need. Where is everybody? It's like, where is everybody? Everybody's asleep. You have few exceptions awake. How can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let them down when trillions and trillions are not even caring or paying attention, and some are obedient naturally? If you have children, all of them are disobedient. They're not there when you want them. Even when you want to help them, they're not there. And you find someone who is losing his rest to help you. Naturally, you're going to be so good to him. And such is the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. تعلمت أن الكلمة الحلوة والوجه البشوش والكرم رأس مال الأخلاق. Smiley face, good word, and generosity, the peak, the top of good character. Why? Anyone wonders why? Because this is what people see. This is what people see and feel about you. It's like you come in and say, "Tfaddal ya Sheikh, this is finjan qahwa, this is habbit donuts." I know, I'm sure you can't do that this morning, because I'm guesstimating that maybe some of you were fasting the day before Ashura. But I mean, when you give someone, when you're generous, when someone visits you at home and you take care of them, when you go to a restaurant or buy something, you raise to pay for the other side. This is something people can feel and like. Generosity is so loved. And it was reported that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, his door was not even closed. Look at the angels. فَدَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ. They entered. It sounds like they did not knock on the door. The door was open. And I know some of you are going to say, "But I thought, Sheikh, you're supposed to knock." Well, if I tell you the door is open, you can enter anytime without knocking, then you don't have to knock. So, based on this, you could think that generosity is high. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, two people came. This is the report, 2 angels. And what did he do? Ijl. It's not a piece of meat, 1 pound or 3 pounds or 4, a whole calf, and barbecued. And he did it himself. He didn't say, "Amara, we have some guests." And he gave it to them himself, because this is part of respect for the person. When you serve him yourself, rather than say, "Okay, brother, open buffet, tfaddal." It's nice, I'm not putting that down, but different between I give you and I tell you go get it. And this is obvious. So when you smile in the face of the person, that's what he saw from you. That's what he's going to remember. When you say a good word to him, The same thing. Yani imagine you pass by the person and you don't say Salam Alaikum. And you're just coming from the masjid. There's no way that you can feel good or comfortable with a person like that. It's like, what do you do in the masjid? What do you learn? And what kind of relationship is this? The Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam يقول لك أفشوا السلام. أفشوا السلام, it's like perfume. You spread it, you spray it, it goes everywhere, the smell of it. This is what you need to do with salam. That means everywhere you go, salam alaikum. تعلمت أن أغلى إنسان في العالم هو الذي يملك الصحة والأمان. The richest person on earth is the one who is healthy and lives in peace. Many people don't realize what health is. Millions of dollars, you can be loaded with money. Health is everything. Health is everything. If you are healthy, you can enjoy any meal, anything. You can enjoy any game. But if you are not healthy and you are loaded with money, what good will it do to you? In reality, the pleasure. That's why the Prophet ﷺ in the hadith that talks about health, it talks about wealth, and it talks about peace. من بات آمنا في سربه معافا في جسده عنده قوت يومه فكأنما حيزت له الدنيا بحذافيرها. If you sleep and you have food for one day, and you are healthy and you are in peace, you're a king. Any of those three, if it's missing, the other two will not function properly and it will be major defect. So say Alhamdulillah for your health. In fact, look at zakat. I give you zakat if you are in need. But for a person who is healthy, zakat is not due. Maybe you help him one time, but that's it. Go get a job and work. Because if you are healthy, you're considered rich. A person has $100,000 and health-wise not that good. And a person has $1,000 and health-wise good, he is considered Islamically richer than that one. Why? Because this one money is going to keep depleting. This one easily can replace it with his health by working. So health is something that you need to be so appreciative for. And health is hidden most of the times from people. So you look at a person and you think, mashallah, he is healthy and he could be, I personally couldn't believe my eyes one time. It's like a handful of medicine the person takes daily. And then you see him joking and laughing and talking and everything. You say, we collected money for him. What does he have? He doesn't need any money. You're not supposed to show your misery to people. You're supposed to meet them with a smile and with a good word, not with pain and complaints. Nobody likes that. Wallah, if you're dying, and you complain to me every day about your sickness, I will run away from you. Everyone is like that. But you see the person in pain and is in need and has a smile and everything, you say, mashallah, subhanallah, how patient he is. And this is something that we feel that. تعلمت أن ما يريد من الناس أن يسمعوا منه عليه أن يسمع منهم. If you want people to listen to you, you better listen to them. Look at our children nowadays. Before you spend 30 seconds, okay, get to the point. But when they want to explain something happened to them, Baba, today I was driving down the freeway and I was looking in the mirror and I was reflecting about life and you are sitting on, mashallah, and you're enjoying it and you're giving everything, but when it comes to him, he doesn't give you any time. What kind of love and what kind of respect, and how do you expect people to listen to you? It was said, "Man lam yasma' lam yaqul." If you don't listen, you cannot talk. This is how the children, when they learn how to speak, put a child in a secluded area, he doesn't hear or talk, he's not going to be talking. So when he hears, he talks. So the information that you get is from really listening to people. You're listening to me right now. You're going to get some information and go say it to other people. If I didn't give you that information, what are you going to say? You don't have it. So this is also another one. And I'll give you last one, inshallah. تعلمت أن الذي يتفلسف كثيرا فاضي من الداخل. Person who talks too much, I did and I was and I am and I, he is empty from the inside. Because a lot of people like to, and usually when you speak they say the tongue مغرفة القلب أو يغرف من القلب. And some people, that your tongue is a spatula that takes from your heart. Whatever you have in your heart, your tongue it takes out and dishes it out to people. And it was also said, تكلم يرحمك الله تكلم حتى أعرفك. Speak so I know you. You sit with a person, mashallah, looks nice, looks knowledgeable, looks respectful, looks everything, and then when he opens his mouth, أعوذ بالله. So a lot of people, they make fun or pick on mistakes of the khatib or of the speakers and everything, and they cannot put two words together if you put them in that situation. Why they do that? Because they never been put in that position. They never experienced what it takes to stand and to address people. So it's easy. And one time a person continued almost every night, those khatib, they come and they don't know how to speak Arabic and they put the fa'il, maf'ul bihi, mansoob, majroor. Yani, wallahi, from the inside I thought he is alim in Arabic language. Because every khutbah, all he picks is on, he put fatha instead of dhamma and kasra. One time we want to sit and teach people how to be speakers. And he was in the gathering. Wallahi, I asked him to read. We were reading from a book, and I explained it. I asked him to read. Wallahi, if I want to pick on him, I will make him bury himself under the ground. He cannot read. The book in his hand and he's reading like that, and I cannot help reflecting on how he puts down every speaker with something he is in major defect and in need. That's why when it comes to the Quran, the hadith, الذي يقرأ القرآن وهو شاك يتتعتع به وهو شاك عليه له أجران. The person who reads the Quran and cannot fluently read it, he gets 2 rewards. Why? Because he's learning. He's sitting with a person and learning, and it's still difficult. Other people would come in and say, you read, brother, you don't know how to read? Yeah, the Prophet ﷺ said, if you can't read, you get 2 ajr. Okay, so why don't we just all kick back and not read any of the Quran so we can get double rewards? Look on the other side, my friend. What's the other side? وَالَّذِي يَقْرَأُ الْقُرْآنُ وَهُوَ مَاهِرٌ بِهِ مَعَ السَّفَرَ الْكِرَامِ الْبَرَرَ. You are in the peak of the 7 skies if you read it fluently, and you are here. You're still on earth. That's the difference between you and the person up there. But the Prophet ﷺ wants to encourage you and wants to comfort you because you're doing extra work to learn, so he gets you double rewards. And that is the goodness, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invites and encourages people to do all of that. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always make us from those people not say and act upon what they say, benefit from other people, learn from your experience, follow the religion without commenting on the other side. If someone tells you, Ya akhi, mashallah alayk, you are impatient, and you are not that patient either, what's the point here? Okay, khalas, I'm not impatient, inshallah, I will do my best to be patient. Jazakallahu khairan for telling me. If you attack the other side, you're not being polite, you're not willing to learn, and you're not adhering to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is how I view it, and this is how I know you. If someone is telling you the truth, accept it without attacking back. And wallahi, one person came and I don't know what I said something, and he said the sunnah is to say such and such, even though I disagree with what he said. But I know almost every speech he doesn't follow the sunnah. And I was tearing from the inside to say it. But it's not appropriate to say it at that time because he's giving me advice. So I said, Jazakallah khair, inshallah, we'll work on it. Up until now, that's maybe 6 months ago, up until now, I'm waiting for an opportunity to advise him. I want him to forget the incident that he advised me so he doesn't think that I'm just retaliating. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
جزاك الله خيرا.